To our very first story, and the Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, will on Wednesday, February 15, visit Ghana and call on President Akufo-Addo at the Flagstaff House. The two will hold discussions aimed at boosting the already strong bilateral relations between Ghana and the United Kingdom, and also touch on key opportunities and challenges facing Ghana. While in Ghana, the Foreign Secretary will visit Blue Skies Company, meet business leaders and young entrepreneurs supported by the Department for International Development Engine Project, and meets with young business entrepreneurs. Well, my colleague Palko Isiasari has more to give us here.
Right, AC. So we're still looking at Ghana-UK trade relations, and it's important to find out how much of trade exists between Ghana and the UK, especially as we await the arrival of Boris Johnson into Ghana tomorrow. Now, Ghana is the UK's 10th largest export market, and that tells you how much of importance Ghana plays to the UK. Now, when you look at the charts here, that's a UK-Ghana bilateral trade in the last 3 years. Just to give you a pictorial view of what it looks like. Over the last 3 years, what's happened? In 2013 alone, trade between Ghana and the UK amounted to about £1.3 billion. In 2014, it shot down to £1 billion, and the same was seen in 2015 of about £1 billion. So clearly, trade relations between Ghana and the UK have gone down between 2013 and 2015. And so it's quite clear that what Boris Johnson is hoping to do is to come improve trade relations between the two countries, between Ghana and the UK. Now, it's important also to know that amongst the two countries, trade relations or what they trade in include pharmaceuticals, crude oil, and other essential products. Now, we're going to go on the phone lines now, and we're joined by Tano Jeche. He's the head of trade and economic policy at the Third World Network. He joins us for some analysis with regards to this latest visit by Boris Johnson. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Now, what does Ghana stand to gain from the visit of the UK's foreign secretary with Brexit in mind?
Well, I think that obviously the United Kingdom is an important trading partner for Ghana, and obviously there's many things on the table that can always be discussed, including the potential for new trade relations. As you know, the British population has voted to come out of the European Union. The implications of that for Ghana in terms of our trade relations with the European Union is one aspect of it, and whether or not the British will seek to compensate for the loss of some of their trade status in the European Union by a more intense arrangement with countries like Ghana remains to be seen. So those are among the issues which I believe can be on the table in discussions.
It's evident that trade between Ghana and the UK has been in a consistent decline from 2013 till date. Now, what can Ghana especially do at this time when we have already signed the initial partnership agreement, the EPA?
Well, I mean, I think that the first thing we have to say about trade, the trade volumes and the trade values with the UK in the last few years is that obviously there has been a global downturn in trade generally, and even preceding that, whenever there has been a growth in global trade, I don't think that from the point of view of our development, we have gained that much. So rather than the actual the physical quantum of trade or its monetary value, I think what's important for us looking forward, we have a new government here. It's a government which has made some pronouncements about, for example, prioritizing manufacturing industry, which is if you like, a strategic headline we haven't heard in our political discourse and in our policy landscape for a long time. For them to be able to do that, there has to be some clear understanding of the impact of unfavorable international trade terms on our domestic choices and on our prospects. The EPA was one of those things which some of us believe posed an unfavorable situation. And in fact, there are many people in the United Kingdom who think so. Lord Paul Boating, who was a former minister in the British government, as in Addis Ababa at the end of last year in the Africa Trade Week, he said, for example, that the EPA has nothing developmental for Africa and for Ghana. James Doddridge, who was until recently a Minister of State and Undersecretary in Boris Johnson's current department, that's the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, also said that even though he was a supporter of the EPA, he understood that the price Africa will pay will be a fragmentation of Africa into 4 different regions, which then have to relate to one another through the European Union. So I think that.
So I've got to say a big thank you to you, Dr. Asiedu-Dartey. He is with the Third World Network, helping us to do some analysis as we await the arrival of Boris Johnson to Ghana tomorrow.